guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for Justice League Throne of Atlantis, the newest DC anime movie that I'm sure everyone was very excited to see. So for me, I've heard of this movie for a while now. I actually did a couple interviews at New York Comic Con with people behind the scenes of the film, director, screenwriter, and also Matt Lanter, who voiced Aquaman. So if you want to go check out those interviews, you can. So I've heard the film, knew a good amount about it, and of course I've seen all the other DC anime movies, and I have to say I haven't been totally impressed with the recent ones, especially focusing on the New 52. But I did like the last Assault on Arkham, Suicide Squad. I thought that was something different that we hadn't seen. So, with a tag like Justice League Throne of Atlantis, is this something different we haven't seen? Is it just another Justice League New 52 movie, or is it actually an Aquaman origin story, or a little bit of both? So before I get into the review, I want to say that this will be pretty much a non-spoiler review until I get to the point where I'll say, alright, I'm going to talk about some spoilers. So don't worry, no spoilers until I say so. So what is this whole movie about is Justice League, of course, formed in Justice League War, which was an okay movie. I had my problems with it, and I honestly didn't really rewatch it. I didn't think it was a rewatchable movie. But if you've read the Justice League New 52 first story arc, you kind of know what happened in Justice League War. Well, this is the continuation of the Justice League, and if they ever really became the Justice League. And at this point you learn they didn't. They don't really stick together that much. You know, Wonder Woman and Superman are in a relationship. Everyone else is kind of doing their own thing. And then the other side of the story is Aquaman, and learning about his origin story, fitting it into the New 52. So what did I think about this movie as a whole? It was okay. I liked it. The animation's great, same animation as Young Justice, so really like the style of the animation. Voice acting really good. I gotta give props to Nathan Fillion as Hal. Every single time he said a funny line, I think he really struck it. So, actually I would say Nathan Fillion and whoever voiced Lois had probably the best lines. Even though Lois is really not in this movie that much, I thought she was great here, and hopefully we'll get to see even more Lois in a future DC anime movie. But those are two people we didn't really see that much in the movie, but I thought impressed me the most. And then Matt Lanter as Aquaman, I think did a pretty good job also, but saying that, I'm not a big Aquaman fan, and I think this movie is more towards the people that like Aquaman. If you really want to see Aquaman's origin story, this is a pretty badass version of his origin story. But if you never was an Aquaman fan, I don't think this is going to be the movie say, oh my god, this changed my life, now I'm an Aquaman fan, like a lot of people have been saying about Jeff Johns' run, which I didn't really read, because again, I'm not a big Aquaman fan. But I did read Throne of Atlantis, the story arc, because it connected Justice League, and I think this was right before the time where Justice League actually became really good, right after Throne of Atlantis. I would say Trinity War is where the series really kind of found itself. And Throne of Atlantis, it was still finding who the Justice League were. And I would say this movie is the same way. The Justice League is still trying to find out exactly who they are. You're not going to see the best chemistry in this film, because they kind of still don't know each other. You get to see Flash and Green Lantern, or buddy-buddy, but it's not really the whole team having great chemistry. And I think that's something I do really miss with the older Justice League films and animated movies, is that chemistry. And you're still not seeing that here, and that's a big disappointment. But overall, I'm going to give Justice League Throne of Atlantis 3.5 stars. I thought it was okay. Again, I'm not saying go buy this on DVD, but I think this will be more of a Netflix movie if you are an Aquaman fan. So that's the non-spoiler version of this movie, so if you want to stick around for the spoiler version, here it is. There's not a lot of spoilers here, but I do want to talk about the villains a bit with this movie. I thought Orn was a pretty good villain, and one fault I think this had is that it references Black Manta, but Black Manta really does not do anything in this movie. He's very much the background character, and for me, not really knowing much about the Aquaman mythos besides what I've seen in TV shows and movies, we didn't really learn much about Black Manta, and he's referenced here. And honestly, I think Black Manta's story could have been cut out totally and just concentrated on as Orn as a villain. because I think he was the more interesting villain, and he was the true villain, and I guess whatever DC movie they're going to do next, we'll see more of him, because we do have an ending credit scene that I want to talk about with Orange in jail, and Lex Luthor wants to keep him for something and use him for something, and I guess we'll see in the next Justice League Gods and Monster. That's the next Justice League movie. I'm sure we'll see what that's all about, and I think that's going to be connected to a TV show also by Bruce Timm, which I'm very excited about. So I thought that was an interesting ending, and I think Orn being the brother of Aquaman is a pretty good motivation of him wanting to kill Aquaman's mother, just showing how psychotic he is. So he was a pretty good villain. Black Manta wasn't really needed. Also, just want to mention a cameo that I loved with this movie was in the diner scene with Wonder Woman and Superman. We get to see Cassie Sandsmark cameo from Young Justice. She's wearing a Shazam shirt, she's got the earrings. It's definitely Cassie. I would say the only thing that's not Cassie is the Shazam shirt. I don't know if it's the same person that voices her from the Young Justice show, but I love that they just had that cameo, and I don't think everyone would notice that, but I was like, oh my god, that's Cassie. And she's there for a good minute in the background, then she actually has a line. So that's something I wanted to mention. Last thing I'm going to mention, Superman, Wonder Woman. If you're a fan of that relationship, you do get a lot here of their chemistry, and I do like that Wonder Woman is trying to be more human like Clark. So that's something, if you like in the comics, they do adapt very well into this movie. But overall, again, if you're a big Aquaman fan, I think you're going to enjoy it. I do think they give you a badass version of Aquaman, but if you weren't an Aquaman fan, I don't think this movie is going to be like, oh my god, I love Aquaman now. It just didn't really impress me, but I guess it was a fun time for about 70 minutes. But I feel like I was looking at the timestamp a lot, because I wasn't totally into the film. But animation, voice acting, very well done. Hope you guys enjoyed. This is Comic You Know. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there's links for my comic book, Like Father Like Daughter, and don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father Like Daughter. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.